When I heard that Tom Hardy, one of my favorite actors, was going to be Eddie Brock and Venom a while back, I was astonished that an actor of his caliber was going to take on a role like this. I am a huge Venom fan, but Venom is not exactly Shakespeare. In Venom the Last Dance, Eddie is reprised for the very last time by Tom Hardy. At least that's the impression that you get from the title of the movie and the things that happen. He's also got a supporting cast, including Chiwetel Ejiofor, Rhys Ifans, and again, Stephen Graham and Andy Serkis as Knull, and I'm honestly floored with the level of talent in this film that adapts one of my favorite Venom storylines ever into an absolutely incomprehensible pile of utter dog shit. That isn't to say that I didn't have fun. Venom the Last Dance is probably the silliest of the three Venom movies, but still about as much fun as you might expect if you enjoyed the other two. Stick around. We're going to dive completely in. I'm Dan Unthan, and this is the Doomcast. First off, do me a favor, hit subscribe and the bell. I make about one of these videos a week. They're all great, so please don't miss even one. I hate that sales pitch thing up front, but honestly, how else am I going to get you to come back? Other than the rest of this video being good, which I hope it is. Even if you hate it, come back for the hate watch. I don't know. Venom the Last Dance opens with Knull, who Knull explains is essentially the god of the symbiotes, the creator of them, entrapped by the symbiotes in a prison on the planet Clintar, which is the home planet of the symbiotes, a prison which can only be opened by a codex, which is an object that's created when a symbiote resurrects its host, a thing that Venom has definitely done for Eddie. Their attempt to flee their San Francisco fugitive status and get to New York to see the Statue of Liberty is interrupted by one of Knull's xenophages, which is a creature that has like weird predator psychic infrared that's able to see the codex when the two of them are bonded. Kind of like the Knull dragons in the King in Black storyline, except a little less cool, but cool in different ways in this case. Wow, Rex Strickland is... Okay, hang on. Also, I'm gonna spoil a lot of this stuff because you're probably not gonna see it, or maybe you are. Most of it's given away in the trailer, so you don't really have to worry about too much of that, but just know that I'm spoiling stuff. While Rex Strickland, a Shadow Ops bachelor in geospatial something or other, based on the degrees that he has on his walls, is played by the truly incredible Chiwetel Ejiofor, digs into finding Venom. Doctors Payne and Christmas, yes, they're using those characters, interrogate the truly incredible Stephen Graham as Mulligan, who survived his encounter with Carnage, thanks to, I think, either Toxin or Lasher, I'm not entirely sure which, who explains that Knull is coming. Fun fact, the word Knull means the F word in Swedish. I'm not kidding, look it up. The F word that means sex, not the F word that is a slur. Anyway, Rex Strickland and the Xenophage pursue Venom as he transforms into a Venom horse, a Venom frog, Venom fish, all sorts of silly Venom shit, temporarily while Eddie struggles with a Special Forces trained operative and actually gets their sidearm and shoots them dead. Don't get me wrong. The most believable part of that sequence is the different stuff that Venom turns into, which was really cool. I enjoyed it. Venom and Eddie emerge from the water and hitch a ride with the Moon family, a nuclear family of vegans, some of them forced, whose patriarch is played by an also incredible Rhys Ifans. Now, after a family sing-along to David Bowie, they drop him off in Las Vegas, which in this universe is an incomprehensible distance away from the actual Las Vegas sign, as it seems to always be in movies. Why is that? I don't know. It's also a very small sign. Did you know that? In the city of too many free drinks, Eddie knocks out a Harris guard and then takes a drunk guy's suit and goes into the casino. It is deeply annoying that the Venom films don't let the symbiote emulate street clothes like he does in the comics for the host. It would be much cooler and a lot cleaner, but whatever. We wouldn't get to see Eddie Brock get his feet pissed on by a drunk guy. Afterward, Eddie meets and Venom dances with Mrs. Chen before they've abducted and they are taken to Area 51, which is being decommissioned. Dr. Christmas frees the Venom symbiote after considering Mulligan's warning about Knull. After an altercation with Strickland, Venom once again saves Eddie from a gunshot wound. The xenophages attack Area 51 because they know that that's where the Codex is as a result, and in the ensuing chaos we get a number of references to comic symbiotes in some pretty fun but very short fights, until Venom realizes the only way to stop these xenophages is to separate from Eddie and pull the Knull dragon stand-ins, the xenophages, into a vat of acid that apparently can dissolve anything, even though these things have been chopped up and blown up. Whatever, I'm not trying to think too hard about any of this. Rex Strickland uses his grenades then to blow the acid vat and presumably kills him, the xenophages, and Venom as well, as Eddie looks on, having been ejected from that whole vat of stuff. Eddie then makes it to New York and reminisces about his time with Venom, and the movie ends with a mid-credit scene teasing Knull's return for whatever reason, because Venom's gone, right? Oh, no. The end credit scene has a Venom symbiote itself, and it probably survived in a cockroach. So now what? I really don't know. It really felt like this was Tom Hardy, who was also the writer and producer, making an excuse to get his British actor friends a pretty decent payday while ending his contractual obligation to Sony and removing himself from future films. And honestly, you know what? Good for him. That's fine. I'm gonna be honest. Even as a huge Venom fan, I did have fun with all three of the movies, despite being so loosely adapted from comics. And also, despite the origin of Venom having nothing to do with Spider-Man, which makes things very weird and hard to understand to begin with. But now I'm at a point where I have to wonder why they're even teasing Knull, or another host of the Venom symbiote, now that Tom Hardy is done with these movies. And as much as I like Venom as a character, why bother adapting these films at all? Why use recently created characters from an IP farmed from people with genuine talent, like Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, Rick Remender, Ivan Chelo, at all, if you're not going to do anything other than completely deconstruct it and then reconstruct it from the ground up? Why ask those guys to consult? Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, they did. And then not pay them. They didn't. It's pretty surprising because it seems like a missed opportunity. They could have worked with the MCU to create synergy between their two universes, aside from just having Spider-Man jump over there. And then the writers of the Venom King in Black arcs, and Jason Aaron, the writer of the Gore the God Butcher arc in Thor, could have synergized and made a really impressive big bad for their Sony Spider-Man universe in Knull that actually felt consequential, and they didn't. Of course, in comics, Gore's All-Black the Necrosword is actually Knull, or an aspect of Knull, and also his weapon, which, again, if the MCU had bothered to adapt Gore seriously, and consequentially it might have been that much cooler as well. Christian Bale did what he could with what he was given, I suppose. But maybe thinking ahead, they could have had the time-traveling King Thor and Prince Thor maybe take over for Chris Hemsworth, who is ostensibly done with the MCU for the time being. Turn those roles over to other actors who are younger and older respectively. Let Gore be an incredible villain and kill Hemsworth's Thor off in a way that's worthy. And let Knull be the MCU counterpart of, I don't know, their Thanos? I don't know. Now, I genuinely have no idea what they plan to do. I don't like being spoon-fed rehashes of full storylines that I'm already familiar with, but I would like some of the same beats with a twist, right? I'd like to see some things that are recognizable and little nods here and there. Sure, that's fine, but I would like to keep the spirit, if not the letter. I don't think that fans should necessarily be in control of franchises, but I don't think that private equity and executives should be making story decisions for characters either. I actually think that the creators of those comic stories should be in the writer's room, part of the writing process, credited and paid as writers of the films, if you're gonna keep adapting and making comic films. I don't know, seems like a great way to get more successful movies, given that they decided to do that with a comic book and succeeded in the first place. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just a guy. In any case, thanks for watching, everyone. Venom the Last Dance is about as fun as the other two Venom movies, which are also silly as shit. And I hope that you go see it and have fun too, because I don't know what we're doing any of this for. Neither does Eddie Brock, not without his blob. Poor guy. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again later this week. Peace.